Witch trials. The witch trials was caused by all the many variety of misfortunes and strange happenings that were occurring in the time of the development of witchcraft and the witch trials. Witches are seen to be demon-like people or people that do not conform to society's standards or go against the social norms of who they're supposed to be, such as a woman's not supposed to be outspoken or be able to think for herself or have much say over her life if she is married, other than to raise children and keep the house clean. The witch trials led to many misfortunes outside of the already horrible conditions that were happening in the town and were the cause of these trials. Many of these trials had resulted in the death of innocent women as well as men, as is shown by the gravestone type in the picture. During the trials, the idea of a witch and the victims were supposed to be shown as clear as night and day, kind of like what is shown between these two pictures here. A witch was supposed to be evil, dark, and manipulative, and wanting chaos to rule the world, whereas the victims or everybody else was just an innocent bystander who was getting attacked by an evil force. The idea that witchcraft was an evil and unnatural thing was brought on as a way to explain all the bad crops as well as bad economy that was happening during the time. The witch trials resulted in the death of many, like I said before, many innocent people who were not to blame for what actually was going on. The witch trials was a hunt for something that didn't exist. The witch trials was a way for the townspeople to have an excuse for their poor management of their town and their economy, as well as not being able to control how the weather or crops would be growing for that year. And because of those, they used that as a scapegoat and resulted in the loss of many innocent lives. There wasn't one specific type of person who was accused. An accuser would point someone out that was different or wasn't very affluential in society and was already perceived as someone who could do more than just have and could potentially be the cause of all the disasters and bad economy of the town, as well as to keep control over the women and make to make all the townspeople conform to the religious beliefs of the main belief system in the town itself. If you were accused of being a witch and you were put through many trials, and if you failed any of the trials, you were sentenced to either burning, hanging, or drowning. Because they believed that witches would, if you were a witch, then you could make it out of the fire alive, survive drowning, as well as survive any of the trials or punishments that were inflicted on the person who was being accused. However, after the damage was done and many lives were lost, the townspeople started to realize that the people who they had killed were not witches, and that what they had done was not right. Even though they did believe that they were witches and were participating in witchcraft, it was later found that none of the people who were killed were witches or had the ability to be a witch, and then resulted in the fact that the information being known that they had killed innocent people for the sake of explaining their downfalls.